Speakers, including Martin Luther King, President Obama, and we're going to see another powerful speaker in just a few minutes. And I want to know from you what makes an effective speaker or an effective orator. So just jot down ideas. It doesn't have to be in complete sentences. I just want you to start thinking about it. Right now. Just get your ideas down.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's just jot your ideas down. I'm gonna stay out the camera all the time.
Just another minute, and then we'll talk about what we learned. okay. But I really want to hear from you guys what makes a powerful speaker. So somebody could raise their hand and share their ideas with the class. Yes.
I think that speakers use different types of tones to captivate audiences. Also, they use inspirational words or stories, especially when they say like "you can" or "you are," because it draws the attention of the audience and make them feel like they're part of that speech. And use a lot of detailed situations and aren't afraid to express their feelings and thoughts.
Awesome. So one of the first things I heard you say is they use different tones and different inflections in their voices. So if I were to get up here and talk like this, thank you, Irina, very much. That was a very positive contribution. Don't think I'm going to captivate you guys as a class, right? Another thing I heard was the use of stories. Storytelling is one of the oldest traditions. So when a speaker gets up and tells a story, the audience wants to listen and to hear it. Yes, Matt?
They usually tend to need to be relatable in order for people to understand. And then reiteration is used a lot. They try to make things that are really bad sound good. They need to be a good liar. They give details and give things about themselves.
Good. Okay, so part of being a speaker, maybe, is being a skilled politician and being able to spin facts into their favor. Right? Awesome. Okay, yes, Gab.
Having the authority or pretending to have power.
Good. So you just gotta own it. You gotta get up on stage, and I have something very important to say, and I'm going to share it with you. It's all about confidence. Yes, Mike.
To know everything about what they're speaking about, or as much as they can.
Good. So you need to be knowledgeable. You need to know what you're saying before you say it. So that may take the form of a lot of rehearsal time, getting your facts straight. Because there's nothing more embarrassing than getting up on stage and then just forgetting everything that you had prepared. And then if there's a question or answer phase, you have no idea what you're talking about. These are all really good. Is there anything else? So nothing? Yes, Maddie.
Take what people already know or think and really voice.
Good. So they're expressing a common sentiment, and it all goes back to being able to relate to your audience. These are all really great ideas, and we're going to see what you just said in some of the speeches that we're going to be looking at. Today we're going to watch a speech from the great debaters, and we're going to talk about it. And then tomorrow, the big scene with Antony and Brutus, and there's a huge showdown, and they fight with their words. And they're trying to convince the plebeians who's right. Is Brutus right for killing Caesar, or is Antony right when he calls Brutus ingracious and morally corrupt? Okay, so thank you all for your contributions. And I gave you 2 sheets. One is a chart and one is a speech that we're going to be looking at. You don't need to follow along with it now. You can just enjoy the movie. I wanted to let you know it's there. Or a clip. So this is a clip, like I said, from the great debaters, and it's based on historical events. In the 1930s, Wiley College, which was a historically black college, challenged the Harvard debate team. So these group of students from Wiley College travel to Harvard and challenge one of the most prestigious institutions. And the topic that we're going to see is whether civil disobedience is morally right or not. So Wiley College is arguing, yes, we should be able to use civil disobedience when we need to. And Harvard's saying, no, no, it's against the law, therefore it's never right. And we're going to see a clip from the speech, and this is actually closing remarks.
It's 54 minutes.
I want you to try out for the debate team. He was more than a teacher. I am here to help you keep your righteous mind. They were more than just a team. And after my mind, together they would do more than they ever dreamed. Wish to extend an invitation to debate at Harvard University. This Christmas, when we believe in each other, anything is possible. My message to you is to never quit. The Great Debaters, rated PG-13.
Does he say something?
In Texas, they lynched Negroes. My teammates and I saw a man struggle by his neck and set on fire. We drove through a lynch mob, pressed our faces against the floorboard. I looked at my teammates. I saw the fear in their eyes. And worse, the shame. What was this Negro's crime? That he should be hung without trial in a dark forest filled with fog? Was he a thief? Was he a killer? Or just a Negro? Was he a sharecropper? A preacher? Were his children waiting up for him? And who are we to just lie there and do nothing? No matter what he did, the mob was the criminal. But the law did nothing. Just left us wondering, why? My opponent says, nothing that erodes the rule of law can be moral. But there is no rule of law in the Jim Crow South. Not when Negroes are denied housing, turned away from schools, hospitals, and not when we are lynched. St. Augustine said, an unjust law is no law at all. Which means I have a right, even a duty, to resist. With violence or civil disobedience. You should pray I choose the latter.
Whenever I hear this speech, I literally get goosebumps. I don't know if any of you have them, but I just got them. I know Alex is saying, yes, I have goosebumps. So, to me, when I heard this speech, I thought it was a wonderful example of techniques that speakers use to captivate a crowd. And not only that, we have an emotional response to it. So without knowing all of the terms on the chart I gave you, I don't want you to worry about using the correct rhetoric, but just think about it. What made that a powerful speech? Yes, Alex.
It was emotional and he used personal experience to prove his point and used his opponent's debate.
Good.
In his debate.
Yeah, he used the human experience to back up what he was saying. People could relate the raw emotion of that speech. Even if you've never experienced it, you can see the pain in Farmer's eyes, which really humanizes what he has to say. Now it's not just a formal debate. It has a purpose and it has a meaning and it speaks to us. What else?
You live the experience he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. The experience he's talking about, it's personal.
Yeah, it's more of a personal, like, compared to the people at Harvard, I guess. It's more like a personal topic for them to talk about.
Yeah. And remember how Irina was saying in the beginning that powerful speakers tell stories? He told a story. And that, in and of itself, in a very structured debate setting, got our attention. Anything else? Yes.
He had nice grammar.
Yeah, nice grammar.
He
Good.
didn't go up there and say, whatever came to mind. It was obviously a thought out debate and it was intelligently written.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was either it was Michael or Maddie who said that the speaker knows what he's talking about. It's been rehearsed. It's been performed. You don't just get up there and they speak. Okay, so these are all correct answers on what makes this speech so powerful. But I also want us to look at the rhetorical devices, the individual rhetorical devices that Farmer used. Does anybody know what a rhetorical device is? Yes, Adriana.
Rhetorical questions when you ask a question that's not really meant to be answered.
Mm-hmm. That's a rhetorical question. Good. Yes, and that's one of our vocab words. Deja, do you? That? Anybody else? Yes.
I just kind of throw things out there, but would be like asking questions and giving information to make the audience think as opposed to just telling them straight facts.
Good. Okay, so what is the purpose of this debate? What is Farmer trying to get the judges to do?
Think about what he's saying.
Think about what he's saying and ultimately to what?
Change what they're doing.
Change what they're doing, but think about a debate. There's a winner and there's a loser. What is he trying?
To win.
Good, he's trying to win over the judges. So a rhetorical device is a technique used by a speaker to win over the crowd, to persuade the crowd. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the rhetorical devices in the speech. So to do this, we first need to know the rhetorical devices. What are they? What should we be looking for? So if you'll take out your chart, yes.
I have a question. What do you mean when they're debating about civil disobedience?
Good.
What about it?
They're debating, farmers debating, yes, even though civil disobedience is against the law.
What do you mean civil disobedience?
Civil disobedience is, does anybody know what civil disobedience is? Yeah, it's breaking the law, but non-violently. So in the 1960s, there were a bunch of sit-ins and rallies. So you're protesting in a very peaceful way. It's very civil, but you're still disobeying. Civil disobedience. Okay, so the chart. All right, so everyone should have one of these, right? Okay. So these are some of the terms that you will see in farmer speech. You won't see all of them, but the reason why I selected them is they are in farmer speech, but they're also in the speeches that we're going to read tomorrow as a class. Remember, who's speaking at Caesar's funeral? Antony and Brutus, and they have to persuade the crowd of their point of view, whether it was right to kill Caesar or if it wasn't. So they're going to use rhetorical devices. So it's our job, there's a blank in the chart, is to draw a picture that will help us remember what these terms are. But first we're going to go over them. So will somebody, please, Alicia, will you read the first word, antithesis, the definition, and the example?
The representation of two contrasting images or ideas, to be or not to be.
Okay, so antithesis is representing two ideas, and they're on the opposite end of the spectrum. So to be, to live, or not to live, to die. That is the question. You see how they're two opposites? Okay, so I want y'all to draw a pretty little picture that will help you remember this term, because we're going to be using them a lot next class. Okay, so antithesis. Deja, what did you draw?
I draw a smiley face and over cliff
To live or to die. Okay, that is an excellent example. So I drew two magnets going in the opposite direction. I am no artist, just let you know. But it works, and I will forever remember antithesis. Okay, so apostrophe. Josiah, will you read apostrophe for us?
Yes, Miss. You ready?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Called out to an imaginary dead or absent person, place, or person, modified abstraction. Welcome of life.
Okay, so James Joyce, who's an author of A Portrait of a Lady, says, "Welcome, O life." Is life, he's talking to life, is life actually there?
Yes.
No. It's an abstraction, okay? So he's pretending to talk to an imaginary thing that isn't there. It can also be when you talk to an imaginary person because that person has passed away. That is what an apostrophe is when you evoke something or someone who isn't there. So, oh, life is isn't actually there, Logan. Like life isn't there, so that's what makes it an apostrophe.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
All right, so Gavin, will you share with us what you drew?
I drew Casper the Ghost.
Casper the Ghost, and why did you draw Casper the Ghost?
Because he's not living.
Good! Not actually there.
I don't care.
Imagine that I drew a ghost too.
Yeah.
Or a Pac-Man. Depending on how you look at it.
It can be a squid if you want something.
Okay, so ethos. Caitlin, will you read ethos for me, please?
The character uses his or the speaker uses his character and credibility to persuade the audience. You should trust me. I am a doctor, of course. I know what medications are right for you.
Good. So ethos is when the speaker uses his credibility. All right? So in Brutus's speech, he says, "Listen up, you plebeians. You need to listen to me because I'm honorable." Right? You all know me. I have a good reputation. That's why you need to listen. So it's when the speaker uses his reputation or credibility.
I'm a gardener. I'm speed.
All right, Andrew, what did you draw?
A person that says, "Trust me, I'm a doctor."
Awesome. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Good, doctor. Anybody else? Yes, Audrey.
I drew a little politician. He's going